And hello, welcome to the Revealed Show. And this week we are having especially a Doctor Who themed show.
Yes, I've wanted this for so long.
50
so
years
long,
coming up
I tell
now.
you. So just to go around, we have an extra edition today in our
mic.
in our studio. We actually have David Bradley here.
Where?
You may
Where am I?
you may recognise him from his reviews of the,
I just
the
woke
film
up and I
reviews.
was here. There was a bag on my head. I don't know what happened.
We finally got
By
him,
the
ladies
way,
and
you
gentlemen.
need to leave your stuff in the van.
Okay.
We finally got him, and so
Yeah.
it's nice to have an actual live.
Get a live
live
review
presence,
today, yeah.
live presence
Yeah.
in the studio.
And also
Besides the
a
recording.
live film with you as well.
Yes. There you
Live
go.
film.
No one told me that.
Very, very lucky. Very
He's
lucky.
got all his notes written down on his hand.
Yeah,
And arm
yeah.
and neck and-
Yeah, very professional, very professional.
Oh, very
So, also today we'll be giving obviously debates about Doctor Who, all different subjects coming up. So,
I'm just worried there's going to be some people who don't like Doctor
So-
Who.
so
We're just like,
tune
Doctor
out
Who
now.
theme episode. Oh, for God's sake,
It's
just
off
turn
now.
it off.
Radio
Well-
is gone.
well then let's please them first, John, with the first bit of Doctor Who music.
Yes, it's the current theme tune from Doctor Who, and have this to rock out to. Hello.
What time have we arrived?
We
It's
appear
the
to be
future!
we appear to be in the 18th century. No, I was just just saying them while that was on. How many times have they changed the theme?
It's been
theme
quite a
in
few
this
times, isn't
series.
it,
One
really?
thing I'll say about the Matt Smith Doctor Who series is every other season they're trying to reinvent it. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
they start off with a new theme tune, then a new opening, and I like the new opening with the turning.
Oh
where
yeah.
the
Well, it's
DW
different, isn't it? Besides the
You see
vortex,
his face in it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
oh,
is back
which
to
is
the classics.
Yes,
It's
I
very
know.
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
It's a bit creepy though if you don't like Matt Smith physically. I mean, he's all right.
The thing is
looking.
that I think it's better now because it sounds weird again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It always used to sound weird, and then
I
when
don't
Murray
like it-
Gold first reorchestrated it in 2005, it was all like
Thrash
very,
metal.
very, very pleasing. It was very
metal.
nice.
There was a
very pleasing to
didgeridoo
listen
in there.
to.
Oh.
There was a. Yeah, but the only thing, I mean, it's going back. It's throwing back to the classic. The classic series. The face in the vortex.
Yeah.
And also, they wanted a more. With the new TARDIS design as well, they wanted more of a machine feeling. So they wanted more of an industrial, blah blah blah.
I liked his other TARDIS with all the layers and the mustard and ketchup dispensers.
I thought that was brilliant because it looks. But here's the thing: what I like about not the current TARDIS, I think it's all right. It looks more like an alien spaceship. One before it, it felt more. It felt like it had more personality.
Well, no, it felt like it should belong on CBeebies.
Exactly.
To be honest.
I like that.
It was-
That's so Matt Smith's style.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Matt Smith's right. I mean, look how he dresses. The bow tie, the tweed jacket. I want that tweed
Well,
jacket.
they've obviously going again to go more to children again with it, really.
Yeah, but remember, there's a couple, because some people would argue Doctor Who's for kids, some people... There's a big debate about that. I mean, the same debate with Doctor Who people would say is the same debate people have with Harry Potter. No, it's an adult book. It's for adults. I think there's that debate going on, so I think it is hard to find your target audience with Doctor Who.
Well, I think our first thing, obviously, all we've got to do really is say what is our favourite Doctor, companion, monster / villain. or
what are you doing to
story.
us?
Or
What are you
story.
doing to
John, you go first. John, you go first.
Well, I'd have to say, oh my god, my favourite Doctor. That's so difficult
It's like
because
picking your favourite family member.
it's really that's so hard. I mean, first of all, I think I'm gonna split her into two. I'll pick one from the classic, one from the rebranded because I have to. I'm sorry, I have to.
Well, to be fair, I think a lot of people, they'll go, oh, you don't like the classic. But at the end of the day, our generation, if people say, what introduced you to Doctor Who, I think a lot of the time...
Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah, I think Christopher Eccleston. And he's not my favourite Doctor, but I was always saying he's...
Well, my first Doctor was Paul McGann, and I
Which one
actually...
was he number...
He was
Yeah.
number 8. I liked him.
Yeah, I liked him, to be honest. He should have got
I'm
more...
going to be out there and say the best Doctor is Peter Cushing. So that
no, we're not counting that. We're not counting that.
He was the one who did it in the fake movies.
We're not counting that.
Yes.
I tell you what. I'm gonna be a pain here, but I'm gonna say my first from the classic is William Hartnell because he kicked it all off, and he's like, you're gonna have to go with numbers. He was the first. The first. Yeah, he was like he started out as a grumpy old man, but he warmed to his human companions as well, and plus as well, it was the whole idea of Susan was then his granddaughter, and this alien being has crashed, and it all kicked off the story for me. So that's why I like him. From the new series,
rebrand.
Oh, I hate to say it. It's really close between Matt Smith and David Tennant. But I didn't like Christopher Eccleston, to be honest. He was too cold from the Time War, and he wouldn't warm up, and and plus he looked hideous as well. I'm sorry.
I didn't like that scene in the episode Dalek where he's his shirt's off. I'm like, what's this? Oh, what's that? Yeah. Oh my god, it's a hideous monster. Oh, it's only Christopher.
So I think, but just narrowly, I think I'm gonna go for David Tennant. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm gonna say David Tennant as well.
Yeah.
But I'm caught with the. In terms of the classic, my favourite one will probably be the third because I like I like the old man Doctor. I like the old man Doctor.
He's John Pertwee.
Yeah, I don't remember their names because there's 11 of them. I can't remember their names. I like the third Doctor because he's old, but he's almost young at heart. I like that sort of thing about him. From the rebrand, I'm same with you, John. I'm caught between Matt Smith and David Tennant. I might go David Tennant because I think David Tennant, in terms of an actor, in terms of performance, he does the whole, the rage of a Time Lord. Yeah. He was like fire and ice in the heart of the storm. And with David Tennant,
sounds familiar.
I bloody get that. I get that because he said, you can tell, when you look in someone's eyes and there's a fire there.
Yeah.
I should write poetry. I really should. You look in someone's eyes and there's that, incandescent rage, almost righteous anger. Yeah. With Matt Smith, he's more, hello. I love him, and I think he's a great actor. But
I think with that though, because obviously Matt Smith is like that. But when he does get this serious bit, he can bring it. See that sort of those serious points.
I prefer Matt Smith to David Tennant because I think he keeps it a lot more under the surface. David Tennant, everything was right out there, and he was always like, I'm so emotional. And I got so
plus
sick
the
of
whole
seeing the
love
Doctor.
thing.
I got so sick of seeing the Doctor crying. When Matt Smith has cried maybe twice as the Doctor, and each time it's been a lot more significant and hard to watch than David Tennant because it's such a contrast to his usual sort of happy, cheerful exterior. But so he's my favourite new one, and I would say my favourite classic. I'm going to say Peter Davison, the Fifth Doctor.
So what about our companion then?
Well, I would say new one. I kind of like. I'm going to go out there and say Amy Pond because
she's hot. Amy Pond.
Because for some reason, that's
how I rate companions.
Ever since the Ponds have gone, I'm not saying the Ponds because I didn't like Rory there that much, to be honest. I only liked it.
Rory is the best one.
No, I only like.
Rory's my pick. I pick Rory. That's it.
I will say this. I can understand why you don't enjoy Rory being there, but at the end of the day, I think he brings a different dynamic.
Yeah, he does. He does. Yeah.
With all obviously, I'm not well versed with the classic, but the other series it's nearly always been a case of, are they going to get together? Or there's going to be romance?
The problem with the companions in the new series is they've pretty much, apart from Rory, who brought something different, is that they've all just been the girl from modern day England.
Yeah.
In the classic series, you got people like Jamie, who was a Highland warrior from the olden days.
That was brilliant.
He got people from other planets. He had like 6 people travelling with him at a time. Now it's just the one person. Cool. And that's what's kind of missing in the new series for me, and that's what I liked having Rory and Amy. It was a bit more variety.
But I miss Amy now that she's gone because I don't know. I'm not gelling at the moment to the new companion, so I do miss her. And also as well,
they're trying a bit too hard to make a sort of all this. There's this big mystery about her,
and also as well, I have to pick as well River Song as well. Not as like a full time, but I do like her being around.
Here's the thing I like about River Song. I'll say this about the other, Rose, Martha. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. They're hot.
I pick Rose.
Sexy, if you know what I mean. They're physically very attractive.
Well, they're always fit, the companions.
Yeah, Rory?
Especially Rory. Especially Rory.
Maybe.
Well, I don't. No. Obviously, no.
No, they've always been fit, right? Because the doctor's got the doctor's got an eye, hasn't he?
People,
for 1,000 years old, he's got an eye for the ladies,
hasn't
he?
Well, to be fair, 900
Who
years.
are we actually picking then?
Well, I picked Amy / River Song.
Amy and River Song.
Yeah, her daughter.
I'm saying Rose, and I know that. I know.
Billie Piper is hot, but in that she's so
whiny. She's so annoying. She's so selfish. I hate
love
Rose.
you, Doctor. I really do. If there's no cameras here, but I'm actually
he's
role playing right now.
Yeah, they're actually both naked, right?
Fantastic.
There's not enough room in here, so David's sitting.
Oh look, there's
the
webcam.
My favourite companion will classic, because she's probably the most famous, and she's the one when people were talking about old Doctor Who, and I researched and looked into it. Sarah Jane Smith.
I knew you could say that.
And here's the thing. I'm the everyman Doctor Who fan. I don't go in depth as much as you. I mean, you were the one who was like, I like the old movie, but so I liked Sarah Jane Smith. To my everlasting shame, I liked the spin-off TV show she had. To my everlasting shame,
Sarah Jane Adventures was good.
Yeah,
it was actually quite good.
And
Yeah.
also, but I can't say it was so tragic when she died.
Oh yeah,
absolutely, really hit. I mean,
I'm going to put my hat on so I can take it off.
Yeah,
he just did it.
Jokes aside,
I really did it.
Jokes aside, it was very sad to see.
Yeah,
there's so many that we've sadly lost.
Yeah,
the Brigadier was actually he's my favourite companion. The Brigadier. That's the companion. That's who I picked. The Brigadier.
Oh yeah,
very good choice. He was the biggest loss, but then paid such lovely tribute to him twice now. That one where the Doctor was also every day, and Kate Stewart.
And as well as in the Sarah Jane Adventures, he did a role then. That was brilliant again, seeing him.
Yeah, he had like a tranquilizer dart in his cane, and he shot us in the face. It was awesome.
And it's just like, why aren't you in the normal series all the time?
My favourite rebranded Doctor Who companion will probably be Donna.
Yes,
because there was a hint of. There was obviously when there's a guy and a girl hanging out a lot of time, everyone's like, oh, will they, won't they? But at the end of the day, there wasn't a romantic interest. No. There was that snob, but I think that was more about the funnies.
Yeah,
and I like
that was to save his life.
To give him a shock.
Yeah, that was to save his life, and it worked.
And I think she was one of the funniest. It's not the word. She felt the most real. Because not every girl.
It was good to just both Rose and Martha had both been, oh, Doctor, goo-goo eyes at him. So that was so very refreshing to have somebody just like, let's just go have a bit of a laugh.
Let's have a laugh.
Let's go chill.
I did enjoy that. Plus, her ending, though, I don't know, can we have spoilers?
Yeah, of course you can.
It's not spoilers by this point.
Yeah.
It's been like 5 years.
If you haven't watched it, if you haven't watched it now, you probably won't pick up the series.
Just turn down the volume now.
But I was very sad with Donna's ending because it was one of those things where... Because she was one of those... They were all misfits, but you felt it the most with Donna. She was this misfit that needed to find a place in the universe.
Yeah.
The time vortex. I love saying that in that voice. Time vortex.
The time vortex. I like that we harmonise that.
It's quite beautiful. I really like that. But it was so sad to see her go back to her little life.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking... I've just thought about it. She's not my favourite rebranded companion now. You know who is? Her granddad. He is a badass. Yeah. Wilfred is the man.
But I will say that with Donna's ending, with the whole when the Doctor said, "If she remembers me, she will die," and then she remembered him and didn't die.
Yeah, but the Doctor said that so she didn't use her power.
I did not like that. I very much. That's just an absolute cop out. If you're going to set that up and then bring her back and have her remember, you've got to kill her. Yeah. Not that I want Donna to die. I like Donna a lot, but you can't set that up and not do it.
I don't think...
Most probably he said it for her to avoid.
My issue with a lot of the stuff at the series was Russell T Davies wasn't a very good writer.
I would always say this. Stephen Moffat was the best writer. I'm glad he took over, but I think Stephen Moffat almost tries too hard. I'm going to weave this incredibly
He makes much more interesting and intelligent stories.
Just coming back on topic slightly.
Yeah. Sorry, David. This is the great thing about the show, though. You start talking about with some people who know their stuff, you can go on for hours.
So, David, who would you see your favourite companion is then?
He did, didn't he?
Yeah,
did he?
Acid Rose.
That was it.
What about... So what about our villains and monsters?
There's so many good ones.
I go Daleks.
The obvious one.
The Daleks are a great villain because I think the concept of Dalek is a very relatable one considering the time it was written.
Yeah.
The war, Nazis, Nazi Germany. So a lot of people would be going, Oh, I remember you.
And also
maybe not personally.
Also, the coolest thing about the Daleks is they look alien.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There's like nothing else.
Well, not in their Power Rangers suit at the moment.
I like the.
Again, it should belong on CBeebies.
I love the matching kitchen utensil Daleks.
I love them.
No.
Well, you know why
they should belong on CBeebies with the set. They need another rebrand.
The reason they redesigned them this second year, they redesigned the first time so that they would
match the eye line.
Billy Piper's eye line.
Yeah.
The new one though, it's so it matches Matt Smith's eye line.
Yeah.
Because Matt Smith's about a foot taller than Billy Piper.
Yeah.
He's quite tall.
He is quite tall.
Taller than me.
I don't know. I've never met him.
Yeah. We're personal friends.
I'd probably say that my favourite villain is gotta be the Angels, to be honest.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind them. Because although they can be defeated quite easily if you just wink with one eye, and you're all right.
There was one thing with the most recent Angels episode that really annoyed me, and when the Statue of Liberty was a weeping angel.
Yeah, that shouldn't have been it. It's made of steel.
The Statue of Liberty is made of like copper and steel. Yeah. And two, how is no one looking at the Statue of Liberty?
Exactly, yeah.
It's the statue. Everyone's looking at it at some point during the day.
Yeah.
There's no way it could move.
Yeah.
Unless everyone blinks in unison. That would be a great storyline. The alien. The angels have found a way to make everyone blind.
Oh my god.
But there you go.
I would say I'm very close. I've got because I think all of the Doctor Who villains and monsters are scary and interesting on different levels. The Cybermen are good because there's that whole fear of indoctrination, which I like. But at the end of the day, the Cybermen don't intimidate me. That voice is stupid.
The old Cybermen.
That's the old one.
The old Cybermen was so much scarier. The ones in
they looked a bit silly.
The ones in Tomb of the Cybermen where she goes, "We're not like you," and then you will be.
Well, no. The only thing is Neil Gaiman is writing Nightmare in Silver, and he is actually bringing.
Neil Gaiman is one of the best writers ever.
He's bringing back the Cybermen, and they are rumored to be just like Tomb of the Cybermen.
Yeah.
So they're having a new look. They're having a new voice as well, and they can actually run.
That's going to be terrifying.
Like I said, I'm just making comments of the ones that stick out to me. Cybermen. We discussed the Daleks. I think for me, the best rebranded villain in terms of a new villain is caught between the Angels, which I think are a brilliantly simple idea. That's why it works, and that's what Stephen Moffat does when he writes it. The same with the Empty Child episode with the gas mask zombies. Yeah. Mommy, are you my mum? Brilliant episode. Yeah. Bit silly, but really good. But it's between the Angels and the Silence, because once again they're a simple idea. That is scary.
He likes enemies that you have to look at.
Yeah. Well, my girlfriend's terrified of the Silence. She absolutely hates them. So I'm going to buy a mask and scare that.
I do love that the whole thing with the Silence is that it's clear that they've influenced all of. That's why they look like the popular image of aliens because. That's where we got it from, is the idea.
Which is really good.
I will say, for my favourite one, I always go for the nice joke answers. I'm going to say the Candyman.
I've never even heard of that one.
He looks like Bertie Bassett. And in fact, they got sued because he looked like Bertie Bassett. So, that's my joke answer. I will say, for a serious answer, the Master. Because he's so fantastic because but he's more intelligent than the Doctor.
Yeah.
He could
unhinged intelligence, I would say.
If you're going with the
new
series...
That's not his fault, it's the Time Lord's fault.
If you're going with the new series...
It's Rassilon's fault.
Hey, don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, sorry, shaking it, but the drums.
Sorry. But if you're going with new series Master, then yes, the whole unhinged crazy. If you're going with classic sort of Roger Delgado, Anthony Ainley kind, he was much more scheming and quiet and suave.
Manipulative.
And he had the little white bits in his beard, and he looked very, very cool.
Yeah,
I like that old Master a lot better than the new one.
So let's go to our next feature, be our TV review, John.
Okay.
So this week I'm going to be talking about the latest series of Doctor Who and episodes so far. So I think it was a really good way that they sort of reintroduced Clara and sort of that sort of classic Earth-based episode, and also sort of dealt with quite a good idea about the Wi-Fi and sort of how we're very connected to it now, and how we very much rely on it. And I think it's been good the way they've had these sort of classic series sort of nods, really, because they've had it in the theme tune, which has sounded a bit more like the 70s and 80s theme tune has, and also his costume has changed slightly, and it's made him sort of look a little bit older, and also they've reintroduced the Ice Warriors, which I thought was a really good way. It's sort of similar to the way they brought back the Daleks in the Dalek episode. I thought it was done really well, and it had like new aspects as well, which is always good to sort of have little bits that you can reinvent the characters and the monsters to sort of bring it to a sort of modern day setting. And I think it's working well. I mean, also the mystery of Clara is still continuing, and it's sort of obviously the Doctor is trying to find out at the moment who she is or what she is or why she's died twice before. So it's instant. Also, that's going to be building up to maybe the 50th anniversary or the the rest of the series, and obviously it's all hype about the 50th at the moment. We're talking about obviously the 10th Doctor and Billy and Rose coming back, because David Tennant and Billy Piper have been confirmed, and also all news at the moment with the A Journey, an Adventure in Time and Space, which would be the BBC Two drama about the early days of them creating it, which I think would be really good, and it's got stars including David Bradley as well, and also a few of the actual people. So Ann Ford is having a guest star, as well as William Russell. So yeah, it'd be good also to see all that and how it's all going to build up. And obviously the episode tomorrow will be about going into TARDIS and exploring more of that, and sort of I think building up more of the mythology there, and probably sort of linking it up more from sort of obviously the episode last year with the Doctor's wife, where we had this sort of a personalised TARDIS. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see how the rest develops. I think it's been good to have a mix of stories. It's had sort of like the adventure, it's had the intro, it's had the sort of little haunted house one, and so yeah, I think they're having a varied one. There's like obviously the Simon coming back, which are the Our Universe ones, which is sort of really good to do that as well. And then obviously the finale is called the Doctor's Name, which I think it'd be quite hard to have the Doctor's Name, because after all this time, what sort of a name can justify the character? What all this hype about Doctor Who, would you really take that all away in the name, really? I think it would sort of ruin it, really, and it'd be quite hard to make it a justifiable name in the first place. So yeah, I'm sort of really looking forward to seeing how it all develops. I think that Matt Smith and Jen Lewis Coleman are giving great performances at the moment, along with many of the guest stars who have been on so far, and also there's more guest stars coming up, including Warwick Davis, who we're quite looking forward to, and also we'll be having obviously episodes from Neil Gaiman, and which will be really exciting, as well. Mark Gatiss, and yeah, so it should be all building up, and it's all feeling a lot like excitement about the 50th anniversary, and it'd be really good to see what they bring out for that, and what they're able to pull out for it, really. So yes, it's really enjoying the series so far, and looking forward to the rest of it. For more reviews, go to djtvreviews.blogspot.co.uk. And this is all for me today, so back to you.
And that was another TV review there by David. Thank you.
David.
Yeah. Back to you. You're you.
Yeah.
Back to myself. Now.
It's my show. It's my show.
All right, lads.
At least when I
Control yourself.
At least when I say back to you on my pre-recorded ones, I'm not here.
Let's go music, John.
Okay, coming up next, another really good tune is from the beginning of Win Rules, and it's her theme. It's a very nice theme. There you go.
There was Rose's theme by
Very nice.
I
So
swear
beautiful.
to God, if we turned a drinking game into every moment you think that music's about to finish, every so often there is like,
okay, we're going. Okay, it's nearly finished. Oh no, it's not again.
David, Matt, you take this. Okay. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But it's regardless, a very beautiful
It's
song.
lovely music.
You know,
Murray
again,
Gold has done
Murray
a good
Gold
job.
is amazing.
Feels
to
like
be
something
honest.
you should hear when you're little and your dad's reading you a bedtime story. I feel like I'm just going to drift off to the land of.
No, you should
Matt,
play like. I don't know, at somebody's funeral or something.
So what's up next? What's up next?
Mystical, magical for a musical.
So what's up next then?
So we've got the live
Oh my god.
movie review. Just
my
everyone
God.
get excited. Oh my god!
You may
David
want to move
Bradley.
the mic closer to you.
The fans
Yeah,
have
yeah,
gone.
take-
Off,
'cause we've been-
off Matt's ugly face.
Me and Beardy Dave, because movie review Dave.
Yeah,
That's what we're.
not a real film critic. That's me.
Yeah. We've been sharing the same mic, and literally, I've never been so close to another man.
That's a lie.
Shall we get?
It's not true. He's been this close to me a lot of times.
Oh no, but please don't take it.
Okay, so I'll go on to the review then.
Let's get on with the review
Okay.
before I upset someone.
Okay.
No, make it comfortable for you.
Okay.
Go on.
Yeah.
Okay. I can do it. So I went to see
Don't swear.
Olympus Has Fallen, which I've given 4 stars. It's really good. As a fellow cinephile, Matt, what if I were to tell you that they set Die Hard in the White House?
I would say I said that when I covered the trailer on my first episode. What?
Yeah, well, they did. It's basically Die Hard in the White House. And it's a lot more fun than the most recent Die Hard film. It feels a lot more like a Die Hard film than the most recent Die Hard film. I mean, very basically, you've got Korean terrorists take over the White House and capture President Aaron Eckhart. And the only person who can save him is Gerard Butler. That's fun. What more do you need? It's a lot of fun.
Badass.
Yeah, it's got a lot of action. It's really fun. It's, in short, I'd say it's worth a watch. And also, last night, I went to see Iron Man 3, which I've given 3.5 stars. I've got to very sadly say I was disappointed in it. And I'm not saying it's a bad film, because there's a lot of good stuff there. You know, particularly the comedy is absolutely top-notch. And some of the action's fairly decent, but pretty much all the cool action was spoiled in the trailers. I hate when they just all the trailers just shows all the cool action scenes. But I'm saying the characters they do some okay stuff, but the villain is terrible. They absolutely ruin the villain, and I can't say why because it goes into major spoilers. Yeah. I cannot say why, and I don't want to spoil it, but I can say that the villain is terrible. When you see it, you'll know why I think this. Trust me.
I will say I'm very surprised to hear you say that because I'm seeing it. Yeah, I'm going to be seeing it this weekend, but. Really, Ben Kingsley, like he's really talented guy, but like I had faith. When you say that, I've got a lot of faith in Ben Kingsley acting ability. So I'm shocked to hear that.
Like I say, I can't say why, but you'll know what I'm talking about. Trust me.
Okay.
I would say that the film commits sort of 3 major crimes. One is that I say obviously the villain's kind of bad, and so they kind of ruined it. The second is that. There's not really enough sort of the tie into the whole Avengers universe anymore. I mean, they still make reference to it, and Mark Ruffalo does have a cameo as Bruce Banner, but at the same time, it just when the villains are threatening the president like they are in the film, you're just wondering why aren't S.H.I.E.L.D. on this? You know, where's Cap? You know, and the third biggest crime, no AC/DC. An Iron Man film with no AC/DC, you've lost me, quite frankly. So in short, I'd say it's not going to be as good as the Avengers, obviously, but everyone's going to go see it regardless of what I think anyway, so I've just been wasting your time.
Thank you for that.
I will say this. I will say this about the second sin of Iron Man 3. I'm kind of glad of that because I found the second Iron Man 2 was just so much. By the way, we're making the Avengers. Yeah. Did you notice we're making the Avengers? Yeah. Avengers!
Oh, I'm not asking I wasn't asking for like the Avengers to all be in it. What I sort of would have kind of liked would have just been. You know, just maybe just like a throwaway line saying, you know, oh yeah, Cap's on a mission somewhere, you know, too busy, you know, can't do it, or you know, I mean, they mention S.H.I.E.L.D. and they mention the events of New York, and Tony Stark is fairly traumatized by the events of New York, and that plays into his character, but he doesn't really seem to have much of an arc evolving out of it, which is kind of a shame. I will say, Robert Downey Jr. is on top form, you know, he's
as always.
Yeah, he's absolutely hilarious.
So for our next debate. I've got
that's right. We're meant to be talking about Doctor Who, aren't we?
I've got one question, and it is 13 regenerations or more.
13.
What? That there'll be more regenerations?
Well, either
13. That's the rule. They established it in the old series. That's the rule. 13 regenerations.
And how much of the stuff in the old series have they actually...
How come? The Master has regenerated many times.
He was a mutant freak for a while.
Oh, yeah.
He stole another dude's body, and then the Time Lords revived him.
Yeah, so I mean, if they can write around all that, then they could write around this.
I'm sure they'll find a way to write around it. I'm just saying, the rules say 13 times.
Right, I'm going to give you two examples here.
At school that was like, you can't do that, the teacher says no.
I'm going to give you two things here, right? One, in Death of the Doctor and Sarah Jane, the Doctor said to Clive...
he said he can do 507 times, but Russell T Davies has since said that was a joke.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying they can just easily slip it in. And two, as well, I do believe that River Song gave her remaining regenerations, which can explain that he's got more regenerations.
They haven't even ever made reference to him only being able to regenerate 13 times in the new series.
Yeah.
It was a thing in the classic series.
Yeah, so I think that they won't even... I don't even think they'll...
One time where Peter Davison couldn't save all these guys because it would have meant giving up all his regenerations and he would have died.
Yeah, so...
It's...
I think there'll be more. They won't even mention it.
Yeah.
They'll just skip over it.
I would be particularly annoyed if they didn't... I said there's a lot of things that they didn't mention. There's things that they changed, like... When it was Sylvester McCoy, he said he was the 7th Doctor. He said he was 953.
Yeah.
When the new series comes back, Christopher Eccleston, the 9th Doctor, was 900.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
Russell T Davies didn't do his research.
Although, like, I think the 4th Doctor said he was like 700 something and other things like that. So
he's got a time machine, so time doesn't have to pass.
Yeah. So
in a linear fashion for us watching it. You know, like Matt Smith, he's aged about 100, 200 years over the course of a year in the show.
Yeah,
that's true. Has he?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he started out,
it's about 1,000.
Yeah, he's moved. They've moved up into the thousands now, which is good because that's where he should be.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I think that'd be really cool if it turned out that it actually, it went 6, then 9, 10, 11, then 7. I think that'd be kind of a cool transition because for us,
the thing is that you see them. What I mean non-linearly is that when time passes for us, we see like 13 weeks of episodes or whatever. For the Doctor, that could be 100 years.
Yeah.
Because you've seen them all regenerate into one another, except for Paul McGann into Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
I think Paul McGann should come back and do a guest
appearance
in one episode.
Well, I was just thinking of my favourite Doctor Who sort of I'm talking like made up stories involving not TV canon, but did anyone see the Red Nose Day special with Rowan Atkinson?
Yes,
I want to see him as Doctor Who. That was one of the because it took what Doctor Who was and ran with it, and he just went with it.
That's who I should have picked for my favourite Doctor, Joanna Lumley.
Yes, I like Joanna Lumley.
I was so confused.
The only time a female Doctor, the only time a female Doctor was tried. Yeah, I did the notion of it.
Yeah, there'll never be a female Doctor in
which is a shame because you'd love like
confusing for any companions.
A nice fit like blonde or brunette in like a leather outfit.
But
as the Doctor, that's what you want.
Can I just say, is this
your fan fiction? Is this your Doctor Who fan fiction?
And then John jumped into a TARDIS, flew off into time and space, and Doctor.
That would be amazing.
And then the Doctor and John got in the hot tub.
That would be amazing.
And then the Daleks arrived and said, "Would you like some fun, John?"
And then they joined in. That's suction cup, I tell you.
Dalek bumps.
Ofcom are on our back right now.
On that note, there has been a comment recently about obviously is the new series is it too sexualized?
No.
Nah.
Yes.
Oh, you would say that.
I'm a pervert. I like it when it's sexualized, and even I'm saying this. I think it's.
I don't think it is sexualized.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I will say. What I didn't like was that they tried to make a relationship between the Doctor and Rose. The whole thing. And then at the end, where she clearly wasn't in love with him, she was just in lust with him because she went off with his identical clone. She's like, "Oh, Doctor,
it's
I love your identical
it's unbelievable."
Yeah, how bad? That must be the biggest buzzkill ever. Just like, I love you, but I also love your clone. Just like, but it's not me. Yeah.
So I think that's the point, though.
But he's not. He's not him now, anyway. He's Matt Smith now. He's the 11.
Yeah.
Well,
so
that's the thing. Remember, David Tennant does say, "When I die and regenerate, I die. The person I am dies and I become this new man. This new man walks away.
Oh, he's just saying he didn't want to give it away.
He was just whining because Russell T Davies wasn't so keen about the fact that Stephen Moffat was going to erase pretty much everything he did as part of a plot point.
Yeah, I think that would annoy people if everything we watched was, and it was all a dream. People would be pretty ticked off.
But Stephen Moffat didn't say it was all a dream. He said there's a reason people don't remember, and that's because of the cracks in the universe.
Yeah,
yada yada yada.
Erasing him.
Because basically that was filling in the plot hole that Russell T Davies had created for himself by having all these stuff like the giant Cyberman in Victorian England, and no one remembers this in the history books.
I think it was a very simple, very clever tool, and I think that's the thing with Doctor Who. You can make up so much bunkum in this. It's wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. That's the explanation.
Doctor Who is the ultimate storytelling device in the shape of the TARDIS, in that you can set a story anywhere, anytime. You can do anything.
You can make your own Doctor. That's the clever thing. You can the character. It's like
you can do a horror story one week. You can do a comedy the next week. You can do a mystery. You can do anything.
I think some of the best episodes are the comedy episodes with Matt Smith, because I think Matt Smith does funny better than David Tennant, because it's more. I think David Tennant is playing the part of someone funny, whereas Matt Smith is someone who is funny. Matt Smith is someone who could tell you a joke. I did
like the David Tennant, the comedy one with Agatha Christie. That was very
good. Another one that I thought was really good was, is it Closing Time? Where you've got, what's his face? Smithy. We'll just call him Smithy from
James
Gavin.
Craig,
I thought it was so funny because, and this is part of the reason I think it was overly sexualized, it's just like every other minute there was a gay joke. Like, I don't know if people probably listen to this homophobe, but at the end of the day, I think sometimes it can be a little bit over the top, and I think even with heterosexuality, homosexuality, bisexuality, whatever, if you put the jokes in there too much, it becomes too much, and it's easy to be funny.
That was an issue with Russell T Davies. He was always putting them in as all this, just because obviously he is gay, and he was putting
Russell T Davies is gay.
Yeah, incredibly.
Really?
And he was.
Didn't you know?
I had no idea.
He was putting in all these gay and bisexual characters and everything to try and make it look, this is perfectly socially acceptable. But he drew so much attention to them that it was kind of counter. It made them look like they weren't normal, because they was going, look at these people, they're normal, honest, and it's just that kind of ruins your whole. If one every now and again, just if no one makes a fuss out of it.
That was my problem with Torchwood, because I think nothing wrong with the gay. Was he gay or bisexual? I don't know.
Captain Jack, he's omnisexual.
It was
anything with a hole is Captain Jack's method.
God, now I know what I am. No, I like the idea of having a lead character that is not, regular heterosexual, but I think there's so much about it, just like they're normal by shoving it in your face. It just doesn't work. And that was my problem with Torchwood.
Well, just returning back, to sum things up, I don't think it's sexualized whatsoever. It's normal. At the end of the day, the Doctor's a bloke. He travels. He's 1,000 years old. He hasn't had it for a long time. You would be a little.
You don't know that.
I can't think of the Doctor as.
I'm looking forward to that. I bet there's porn. In
that zero room. In that zero room.
Here's the thing.
Shall we go to
rule number 38 of the
Dr. Y and the Phallics?
Really? I'm telling you. Rule 38 of the internet. If it exists, there's porn.
All right. Thank you very much. So we won't be coming back because Ofcom are going to kill us. Thank you, Matt. Ofcom are now going to kill us. Anyway, coming up now, it is another one of my favourites. It's Madame de Pompadour, the soundtrack. Very nice, very touching. And that was Stop trying to take this. And that was Madame de Pompadour. Fantastic soundtrack. Yet again.
It was a good episode.
I tell you.
Oh,
it was. Can I just say that I think that was one of my top 5 favourites so far, to be honest, because it's so touching, and it was at the end, it's just when you see a coffin going down, and then you see the hurt like you've lost someone else.
It had the Clockwork Robots, which were in one of the Christopher Eccleston books.
Yeah,
but then I think they adapted them.
Yes,
into
I think
it was.
I remember he was all sad because someone took his coat in that book.
Yeah, I remember reading that.
And he goes and asks, "Can I take your coat, sir?" No.
And so now we're going to John's trivia quiz.
TV review. Oh my god!
I
watched Catchphrase on Sunday. It was good.
On Countdown, the woman drew an inappropriate thing on the board, and my nana rolled in her grave. Oh, it was 8 out of 10 casters Countdown.
Oh right, okay, fair enough.
Right, story. Well, let's.
So what's our first question, John?
Right, we've got play along at home, boys and girls. Actually, you know what we'll do? Send in how many points. See if you're better at this than we are.
Okay, we're ready for the Doctor Who quiz.
Okay, they're challenging. Are these hard? Is this going to be like GCSE all over again?
Oh well, not really. Are you ready?
Am I going to be crying in the corner?
So the very first Doctor Who episode aired on which date?
I know the month and year.
Can we say?
Go on.
I don't know the
23rd of November, 1963.
I thought it was the 23rd.
Yes,
I knew
correct.
I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to throw it out there. I think it's the 23rd of November.
David Tennant played the 10th Doctor. Which of his real-life family members have also played the Doctor? Can you hear the tension music as well?
This is a tough one.
Pop your headphones on as well.
Oh, well... yeah. Are we talking blood relative?
Yes. Okay. Was it A, his brother, B, his uncle, C, his father-in-law, or D, his son?
Father-in-law.
Yes, correct, Matt. Well done.
Yeah, I am the boss.
The original TARDIS cost how much to build? £129, £4,328, £525,000, or £7,560?
Are we talking the first interior or the first interior?
The first one.
What were the options?
£129.
Yeah, let's try that. 129. Let's go for it.
That was incorrect. It was £4,328.
Yeah, we are wrong. All right, we never get to watch Doctor Who again.
Okay.
No!
That's our punishment.
Don't worry, I've decided if I'm not allowed to watch Doctor Who again, I'm just going to get people to send me the script and I'll act it out myself.
Which former Doctor Who companion was Matt Smith's agent when he was cast as the 11th Doctor? Was it A, Sophie Aldred, B, Billie Piper, C, Wendy Padbury, or D, Deborah Waitling?
Sophie Aldred.
It must be someone we've never heard of.
I think it's Sophie Aldred.
Sophie Aldred.
Nope, that's incorrect. It's Wendy Padbury. Failed.
These are the most obscure stuff
These are hard ones.
Can't it be something simple like what colour is a Cyberman?
Well, no. Right.
What actor played this role?
Yes.
Before Nicholas Courtney played Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart, which character did he play in the Daleks' master plan? Was it A, Brett Viron, B, Kirk Sen, C, Mavic Chen, or D, Daxter?
I'm going to say C, Mavic Chen.
No.
Daxter.
Incorrect. It was Brett Viron.
Can I just say I've never even watched that episode, so I don't think.
Well, the most of that's lost.
There must be like well over 100 episodes.
Okay,
of Doctor Who.
and this one, before she starred as Amy Pond, Karen Gillan appeared on an episode of Doctor Who. Which episode did she appear in?
I know, the Fires of Pompeii. She had the hands on the back of her.
She was hot.
She was like Doug Jones.
You know what I think is really interesting? Yeah, they do a lot of really clever stuff where they always seem to have the actors before they were companions on the set. Same with Freema Agyeman, who's hot.
Yeah. And she died.
I know. With Udemy Flip, who was.
So you're saying that, yeah? Fires of Pompeii?
Yeah,
well done, it is.
Yeah, we knew that one.
Don't patronise me, John. Don't patronise me.
Okay, to date, who is the tallest female companion to be cast on the show? Is it Catherine Tate, Freema Agyeman, Elizabeth Sladen, or Karen Gillan?
Karen Gillan.
Incorrect, it's Elizabeth Sladen.
Oh, God,
she's short.
She's smaller than.
I'm sure she's really short.
Small,
Only joking, it is.
You slime.
How tall is Karen?
Sly, but she's about, I'm gonna guess about 6 foot. 5'11", something like
that. She'd be like as tall as me.
She wear high heels.
I know. High heels.
Okay, and the last question. Who was the only Doctor since its first appearance to never use the sonic screwdriver? Was it A, Colin Baker, B, William Hartnell, or C, Patrick Troughton, or D, Christopher Eccleston?
William Hartnell.
Since its first appearance, I'm going to say Colin Baker. because it first appeared round about.
This is what it all comes down to.
It first appeared Tom Baker.
The tension music is on.
Well, let's hear it.
And I want an answer off each of you. What do you think? So David says Colin Baker.
So what is this? Is this ever, or is it since the Sonic Screwdriver appeared?
Since the first one,
Since
who never
the first
used.
Sonic Screwdriver appeared, I'm going to say Colin Baker.
Okay, you say Colin Baker, Matt.
I'm going to say Colin Baker.
You say Colin Baker, David.
You've got to say something different, otherwise it'll.
See, I thought it was William Hartnell, because I thought the question was.
Okay, you're
He
saying
said William Hartnell. It's too late now.
William Hartnell. Okay.
We can't hear the tension music.
Where is it?
Just waiting.
It's buffering.
And the answer is
Buffering.
Colin Baker. Well
Yes!
done.
I think the Sonic Screwdriver first appered around Tom Baker, I think.
Yeah.
And then Colin Baker.
Colin
Baker only had 2 series.
Speaking
Because the guy making Doctor Who at the time didn't like Doctor Who, and he was sleeping with Colin Baker's wife. So Colin Baker did not get a very good run at it.
Do you know what I like?
And easy breezy question.
Okay.
What colour's the TARDIS?
Purple.
Eggshell white.
Royal blue.
Yes.
Yeah. It's on the inside.
Well, technically,
on the inside.
Yeah,
that's just a camouflage on the outside. So the real colour could actually, in fact, be eggshell white. So well done.
There you go. What a TARDIS looks like before the chameleon circuit.
Well, in what's it called? That episode where we first met Craig. What's it called?
Craig?
You know, with the upstairs. Oh, what was that called?
The lodger.
The lodger. Yeah. Well, supposedly that was a TARDIS or a TARDIS type thing without the camouflage, so maybe
it looked a bit silly.
It did.
The CGI, you can tell it's TV.
I don't think it would be all metallic like that because they're organic. They grow.
Yeah,
they're living things, which is they don't explore enough, and why I loved The Doctor's Wife because they actually really.
This is why I'm excited for this Saturday's episode.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I've always said you could set an entire episode in the TARDIS.
Anyway, David.
The library's falling into a pool.
So shall we go to your trailer talk now, Matt?
We shall. I don't move the mic away from David. So,
I'm assuming your theme song's Pearl and Dean.
Okay. So straight away, there's a lot of nerd news out at the moment. Straight off the bat, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy might have Lee Pace is in talks to play the villain who's going to be called the Collector. Now, I know next to nothing about Guardians of the Galaxy. I literally only heard about them when I announced this movie. And this is somebody who really know. I don't want to blow my own trumpet. When it comes to nerd stuff and comics and stuff like that, I know my stuff. So the fact that I never... So this will be fun for me. Rocket Raccoon is cool.
Unfeasibly large cannon.
Girls love the unfeasibly large cannon. So I don't know how to feel, but I am excited to see this movie because it's fun to see Marvel gamble. Marvel Studios is really taking a gamble with this because very few people know about Guardians of the Galaxy, which will make it interesting because it'll be one of the first times I'll walk into a Marvel movie and go, oh, and learn all this new stuff. So this is exciting for me. The other thing is on the flip side of the superhero coin, DC, Zack Snyder might be directing the Justice League movie. And I can't stress this enough. At this point, the Justice League movie is a joke. It's an absolute joke because every other week we're getting news. I'm thinking, as a rule, soon I might just say I'm not going to cover it unless it's legit.
No one knows for sure what's happening.
If
it's even happening.
1 minute it's Christopher Nolan, then it was Ben Affleck, which came out of nowhere.
Yeah, but it came out of Argo, let's face it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Whoever's big, let's stick him on it. Zack Snyder is good, but I think it all depends on how well Man of Steel does.
But I'm not so keen on Zack Snyder as a director because he uses too much ridiculous slow motion, and Superman's meant to be faster than a speeding bullet,
not slower than a building.
Yeah.
He can jump over speeding buildings and faster than a speeding building.
He's more powerful than a single bound.
And I think, honestly, I'm pumped to see the Man of Steel movie as I covered last week. But if this doesn't work, DC's movie universe, I don't think it's going to get off the ground. Unless Guillermo del Toro saves it with his Justice League Dark storyline, which I want to see.
The Justice League Dark comics are fun.
Oh yeah, you read.
I've read some of the comics. They're a lot of fun.
Not a real film critic. Reads a lot of DC.
I do. I read exclusively DC.
I know. Branch out, man. Play both sides of the field. then
Marvel's comics sounds good.
Anyway, last bit of movie news would be that there's talks that a Dodgeball sequel is in the works.
No.
I love Dodgeball.
I love Dodgeball. They'll ruin it.
Yeah, I think it's one of those movies that can stand alone, and I must say it's one. I think
this is like the Anchorman sequel. It's going to be terrible.
You don't know that. I really want to see Anchorman, but let's focus.
I'll see Anchorman 2, but it's going to suck.
Okay, back to Dodgeball. I'll say this. I absolutely adore the original Dodgeball because there are so many great lines. Yeah. My favourite being, "You made me bleed my own blood.
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball."
Brilliant. I think it's absolutely hysterical. I don't think a sequel is needed. No. I really don't think it's needed. I don't think it's necessary. I don't know how you continue the story because Tug Speedman, if people have seen the movie, I don't see him getting off that sofa anytime soon. If you've seen the movie, you know what I mean.
There's nothing else for them to do. They had the Deus Ex Machina of the money and they won.
Yeah, I thought it was really... No, but I thought that... It was a Deus Ex Machina...
The chest said Deus Ex Machina on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I didn't notice that. But it's one... The movie, the ending was like, what? But in the end of the day, it was still a good ending. I think it was a smart ending. I'm still very... I want to see it, but I know I'm not going to be as pleased with it. And I will say this, though. Ben Stiller I don't usually find Ben Stiller particularly funny. I think he's a good director, and I think he comes up with good ideas, and I like his movies. I like his movies. In them, though, he's not always the funniest part of them. But in Dodgeball, yes, he was. He was the bit that just had me laughing. And this is a movie with Steve the Pirate in. Once again, if you know the movie, you know what I'm talking about.
And Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris was in it.
Thank you, Chuck Norris. Thank you, Peter Love.
Oh, that brilliant Chuck Norris at the end.
Everyone loves Chuck Norris.
Yeah. And then the trailers for this week. I'm only covering 2. The big one that came out the other day, I've got to mention this because my girlfriend will never forgive me. Thor 2, Thor the Dark World. I am pumped for this. It's very rare that a trailer comes out and from the get-go I am absolutely raring to see it.
Christopher Eccleston's the bad guy. To bring it back to a Doctor Who.
Yeah. It's all connected. It's all connected.
Timey-wimey.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wobbly,
Thory
Wory. Rory. Oh my god. It's all works on so many levels.
Oh, I'm very thankful.
I'm really excited for this because I've seen some of the work they're doing on set. I've seen some of the photos. It looks fantastic. The costumes are brilliant. And I like the idea. I will say this, though. The fact that they're bringing Natalie Portman, Jane... Is it Jane? Yes, Jane. Jane back. Not my favourite superhero girlfriend. I don't think she's the best.
Oh, but they kind of can't get rid of it. And also, Thor's got some explaining to do.
Oh, Lady Sif!
Last time he showed up, he didn't even go visit. You know, even after he saved the day, he didn't go see her. He just took Loki home.
Yep. Which is a bit weird, now you think of it. That's your brother.
Yeah.
But there is a great bit in the trailer with... I know there's a lot of Loki fans out there. It's only a trailer, so I'm not going to be worried about spoiling this for you. There's a bit with Loki in. And for people who like Loki, I love Loki. I think the actor playing him is fantastic. Yeah, it's awesome. Like, I was a little... I squeed.
Yeah,
I was like...
They're going to be... I think they might be teaming up to take down the evil Christopher Eccleston, who... I can't remember... He's got a really complicated name. It's like...
Basically, the bad guy he's playing is a half-living, half-dead dark elf. And in the comics, the drawing is kind of silly. Like, one half of him's white, one half of him's black. And it looks a little... Yeah, it looks a little bit silly but... The movie transfer, you look at the design and it works a little bit. It looks more like a burn mark than anything, but it works.
It looks monstrous.
And then the other trailer, this is the only other trailer I'm covering, trailer that is announcing in 2015 the Ratchet and Clank movie.
Oh.
I love Ratchet and Clank, okay? I absolutely adore the games. I think they're really fun.
They are, but I think a film could ruin it.
I think done right, it could work because there's so many movies where they take... You know, the animated characters and turn them into live action. This is sticking to the animated characters. And they're all cutesy and cuddly. And Ratchet looks adorable.
If they keep the voices from the game, maybe.
Yes.
Because quite frankly, if Clank sounds any different, I'm out.
Yeah, Clank is a key character. Do you guys, other David and John, you're other David now, Dave. You've been replaced.
Yes. From now on, this is my show.
Yeah, I'd like to see... because I did enjoy playing Ratchet and Clank when I was younger, so I would like to see a film. And as David said, if they've got the voices, the original voices, it'd be fantastic, to be honest.
Do you want to see them do a story from the games, or do you want to see them do an original story?
An original story.
Original story, the same.
I want to see what's happening.
If they include some of that stuff from, I can't remember which game it was, but where you met that other Lombax who was like a mentor and he turned out to be a villain at the end. And stuff.
Yeah. That was, spoilers.
It was fairly obvious from the moment he showed up. It's like, yes, he's the inevitable villain. If they did some of that stuff in it, that would be cool.
I will say this though. The person I want to be the villain is I want Dr. Nefarious as the villain. For fans of Ratchet Clank series, I absolutely.
Jane, I love you. And
if you've played the games, you'll know what I mean. How much I love. You'll understand why I love Dr. Nefarious.
He's a comic relief.
He's a comic relief villain, but that works within the context.
It would work if they were doing something where you thought he was the villain for most of it, and then turns out partway through
it was Lawrence.
Yeah, it turns out partway through there's actually a real competent villain there.
Yeah, so I think really good idea. I'm excited to see what they'll do, but I'm going to wait for more trailers to see if I'm going to, pay to see it really. Because that's a big deal now.
It'll be in 3D,
Oh, definitely be in 3D. Or 4D. I don't know. 2015.
Oh, yeah, it'll be 3D with the D-Box moving scene.
Oh, I've never tried D-Box.
I've not, but...
Mate of mine tried Inception with D-Box.
That'd be horrible.
It was pointless.
If it's like... those rides that they have at university, like the Shrek Body ride. It was like that would be so annoying for a 2-hour film.
Yeah.
It works for a little like half-hour gimmicky thing, but if you sat there for like 2 hours, just every time it just sort of moves like, and you just go, oh.
You see, a mate of mine went to see Inception in D-Box. He brought nachos and one of those big tango slushies. Yeah, they went everywhere. Because every so often, in Inception, you get the sound effect. That's happened. The music was played right in your ears, and the chair would wobble, and nacho cheese went everywhere. It was sad for him.
Well, thank you for that, Matt.
That was a good one. We went on for a while there,
now we're going to have our quick predictions for the 50th anniversary special.
Right, well, starting with me, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you're the star, John. It's all about you, isn't it?
I'm in the boss chair, all right?
Yeah, because he's got all the buttons.
Yeah, I control the mic.
So this is your TARDIS, basically.
Yeah. Okay, my prediction, right, well, the last episode of this series, we're going to have Name of the Doctor. And it won't actually... Nothing will kick off that much, to be honest. But what is rumoured is that something or someone is taking the Doctor's friends from out of time and putting them all in a place. And I guess the place is going to be called Field of Trenzalore. And the Doctor goes to a place where he should never go. That's the synopsis at the moment, what's released. So I'm going to guess he's going to go to the Fields of Trenzalore, and it's going to end there. And then it's going to end on a major cliffhanger. Like, they'll go and something will happen and the Doctor will go to say something, which is probably his name, or he might whisper it to River Song, and then River Song will whisper it. That's how she knows his name. Yeah. Because in Silence of the Library, we heard the we heard
she knew his name.
Yeah, and he goes, "There's only one time you could ever know my name." And then, so I think she'll know the name, and then she'll then whisper it to someone else, and they'll all whisper it, blah, 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 and it'll be like a weapon or something that will kill off the silence. And then that'll lead on to the 50th. Now, what we know from the 50th at the moment is obviously David Tennant's going to be there as well, and Billy Piper, and he's not going to be the clone, he's going to be the real 10th and not the clone, which is going to be fantastic, to be honest. We know that Queen Elizabeth I is going to be in it. We know that Zygons are going to be in it.
She thinks she's the first.
Yeah. We know that Zygons are going to be in it.
I hope they actually give a bit more of an explanation as to why he's her enemy. Yeah. I really didn't like that they just sort of say,
well, most probably will know.
Because the Doctor got married to her and made her not the Virgin
Well, no,
Queen
because
anymore.
shall I tell you? Because it does work out. Because when was Martha going to the Shakespeare
that
episode,
was a good episode.
Elizabeth knew the look of David Tennant, so this explains why she knows how he looks.
He got married to her.
Yeah.
Did he?
In the end of time, he said, I got married. Never do that again. The Virgin Queen. And let me tell you, her nickname is no longer.
Yeah. Let's bring it back to sexualization.
Yeah,
so I do think it's all going to be...
I thought that was just a lame joke.
It
wasn't worth sort of the build-up of what they did with Elizabeth I.
I do think it's all going to come to a head, with the silence and everything, going to round up everybody, and there's going to be this big thing. I don't think we'll know the Doctor's name. The audience won't know, but the characters will, because we need this to kill off.
I think you can't have a name that can justify.
Well, no, it won't be Dr. Barry.
But also,
what is your name?
But also,
Steve.
I think it'd be good also if they have. Obviously, it seems to be all the story arcs and connections that Moffat's been doing all over the last few years will come together and just sort of implode probably.
Okay, this is my... Go on. You go first.
The thing with them revealing who the Doctor is, they were going to do that before.
Really?
With the 7th Doctor. Andrew Cartmel had this whole big plan where we revealed that the Doctor was one of the 3 Time Lords, along with Omega and Rassilon, who founded Time Lord Society, and which would make him basically a god. But it never. The series got cancelled before they could really properly explore this. But what was it? So the Doctor would have been the other, who was this. There, so the 3rd Time Lord and this god, and then because the Time Lords, the way they used to reproduce before Russell T Davies changed it to just. They just reproduce like everyone else. The way they used to reproduce was they had these machines called looms that would rewrite their genetic material into new people. And that's how he had his granddaughter in the start, and it must be like something through some events or whatever, he ended up in a loom being reconstituted into the Doctor, and then he met Susan, and they got in the TARDIS and escaped. But obviously that might not be the case now with the new series. They've probably forgotten this, but I think that would be just stick with that. That's a cool thing. That was done to add mystery back into the Doctor again. That he was this powerful being before.
Could he be a god though? Because we seen him as a child looking into the into
that was the Master.
That was the Master.
No, but also the Doctor was in he was in the same school as the Master, so they were the same. They are the same age.
Yeah, I guess it's probably just that they've ignored this. It's just a shame because it was a really cool idea.
Yeah.
Okay, my predictions. I honestly think. The Fields of
Trenzalore, which is a fantastic name, to be honest.
Well, here's the thing, though. One of the things I was saying, you reveal the name of the Doctor, I think it's going to be a case of, you see him, what's your name? And it zooms out, and then you hear some scream or something.
Oh, that'd be brilliant. And then they all fall dead or something.
Dies. Well, here's the thing, though. Can you come up with a name cooler than Rassilon? That's a cool name, Rassilon.
Well, no,
I think the Fields of Trenzalore, I know what you've heard, but I would love to see the Fields of Trenzalore. Because obviously the Doctor's this pacifist, he never wields a gun. It would be kind of cool.
Except for the times that he does wield a gun.
Yeah,
that's true. Well, never carries a gun. Well, actually,
there was that time in the old series when Sylvester McCoy shot a Dalek in the face.
I would love to see, I don't say in the battle, but I would like to see, there was a battle on the Fields of Trenzalore, almost like Game of Thrones epicness.
Yeah.
And there's just, you've got, the ruins of the armies of the Silence just there, and you've got the Doctor strides across the Fields of Trenzalore, and say there's a general, the leader of the Silence, is like, what are you? Or something cool like that. You've just got the Doctor just once again, try and hit the David Tennant's level of, righteous anger of just, I am.
Well, do you think that there will be Fall of the 11th? Do you think he will regenerate or not?
He signed on again.
He signed on again.
I did say this though.
It might be a rumor, to be honest.
I will say this though: if Matt Smith, this will mean if Matt Smith doesn't regenerate this time, it means he'll have been doing this longer than David Tennant, which doesn't feel like it. But I think that's the way it's spaced out, and I can't stand the way it's spaced out.
Yeah, I want it back to the 13 episodes.
Because then otherwise...
One thing I will say about Russell T Davies, he did at least keep that consistent. That it was 13 episodes a year.
That's the problem I found with this new one. I love and I hate the idea of this really interwoven story that's a lot more complex than Bad Wolf was.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it worked for what it was.
Actual story arcs.
Yeah. Story
rather than just sort of someone every now and then says a word.
Yeah. Something that's woven in throughout the series, and it's an actual story arc flowing through it to this point. It works better in a 13 episode block than this, because otherwise you've got how many months was it since last episode?
Bloody hell!
A long
4 months.
Yeah, 4 months. Who the hell is Clara? I was just like, what's going on? And I literally had to go rewatch them before so I was up to date.
I think that when when she came back, it was that was sort of a reintroduction episode there as well, because it was like kind of her intro kind of thing. So, but
I'm a pervert, but she is.
But yeah, so we're really looking forward to the 50th anniversary.
Oh, definitely.
I'm looking forward to the cinema release thing. I want to see that.
I do want to go.
It is apparently getting a limited cinema release.
It's 3D, isn't it? In 3D.
That could be brilliant, and that could be rubbish at the same time.
Why put 3D on it?
4D, D-Box. You don't know. know. We don't know.
All right, well, you were saying that he's going to might be taking all his friends out of time.
Yeah.
Is that not just the plot of the Five Doctors?
Yes. Exactly. It
Where-
worked then, it can work now.
Where only 4 Doctors were really in it.
I know, what was with Tom Baker?
He felt it was too soon after he'd left to be coming back. And
Well, you don't see David Tennant
the footage they used of Tom Baker was from Sharda, which was they started filming but never finished. Which is a real shame because Douglas Adams had written that. Because Douglas Adams was head writer at the time, and it would have been fantastic.
Okay, I have a question for you all.
Go on.
Very good. Try and keep this as brief as possible because we don't have forever. Well, where's the next show?
We have forever.
I want to know something. If hypothetically we go to the 12th Doctor, what direction do you want to see that go in? Do you want to see more of the same, or would you like to see them take something different? I want to see the scarf return.
I want a broody, I want an angry Doctor like Eccleston, but more good looking. Right.
Oh, I can play him.
I want an older Doctor.
Because I want him angry after the Field of Trenzalore, after all the hatred and after losing all his friends or whatever.
I want to be the Doctor.
I suppose he will be older, won't they?
Yeah, I would like to see them return.
I mean older as in someone like maybe Kieran Hines.
Yeah.
Well, do you think
they always say James Nesbitt.
you know they've got John Hurt coming up in the
John Hurt's going to be in the 50th. Love John Hurt.
He hasn't been confirmed yet what character he's playing.
It'll be the voice of a giant dragon, and it'll actually be the best crossover ever.
Yeah.
I want to see. I want to see an older Doctor because that's one thing when they were coming to casting number 11 with Matt Smith, they did this whole sort of documentary on it, and they actually said
that they wanted an older
we're going to have an older one, we're not going to have a young guy. Matt Smith walks in, oh dear. And as much fun as I do, and I like the young Doctor because he's got a spring in his step, but I like that whole old but young at heart. That's why I like the third Doctor so much. So I'd like to see an older, brooding
I'd like somebody
badass.
Ginger for once.
No,
the Doctor should be ginger.
I like that. I think that's an ongoing joke that I think we should keep up until
I do like that with Matt
Doctor.
Smith for all that. He looks really young, but he quite clearly in the way he plays it.
He's old.
What's his eyes? His eyes are old.
Definitely now.
And it's the fact that he has no eyebrows.
Now you say it.
He had huge eyebrows when it started, but they're gone. I don't know where they went.
It's probably waxed.
That's
lost
the real
in the vortex.
mystery.
Lost in the vortex.
Where are the Doctor's eyebrows?
That's what they find at the centre of the TARDIS. His eyebrows just floating.
That's going to be on the Fields of Trenzalore. Just 2 eyebrows. just laying there.
50th anniversary over, folks.
There you go.
We found his eyebrows.
We've cracked it.
That's all, folks.
We've cracked it.
So I think we should go to our showcase.
Yep. Well, first of all, the unnecessarily long theme tune first. So today we'll be listening to the Doctor Who theme tune, the full theme tune, obviously written by Murray Gold, but who was the first one to originally write the Doctor Who?
Delia Derbyshire.
Was it Delia Derbyshire? Yeah. So that was the original one who wrote the Doctor Who theme tune, and also it's very cool. It's had many changes over the years, and here it is. It's the full tune from the current run of Doctor Who. Enjoy.
And
Very nice, guys. Very nice.
You've got a
and
beautiful
where are we
voice.
today?
Who needs the recording tune when you've got that?
That would be the opening, and it wouldn't even have all the CGI. It'd just be us four, just sitting there going. No.
Just an occasional bit of paper comes up.
I reckon, you know, for the 50th, right? And this is an idea. We should film like a short episode by playing characters in Doctor Who.
Okay,
Just
yeah,
in drama society, you know, we should do something like that.
Can I be the Doctor?
I'm the Doctor.
No, I'm the Doctor.
It's my bloody suggestion.
Well, I'm sorry. You can be the director. You can write it.
Well, we can.
All right, that's fair enough. I'll play a baddie. I'll play a baddie with it. Sorry, guys. We're just planning our social calendar here.
You know what? We'll put it on YouTube.
Yes.
So thank you for listening, and thank you to David for joining us today.
Yes, thank you very much. It was lovely. Hope you enjoyed the 50th. We'll leave you in a minute with "Please Don't Stop the Rain" by James Morrison, and back to normal music, and everything normal.
So there had to be Beatles.
Well,
come together.
Well.
Anyway, right. That's goodbye from me today,
and goodbye from me,
and goodbye from me,
and goodbye from all of them.
Yes. See you later.
Thank you for joining us.